Zechariah chapter 12 says that Israel will be a burdensome stone. This is a yet future prophecy. Zechariah chapter 12 verse 3, and in that day I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone. For all people, all that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. Now, not even getting into the fact that this whole thing about blindness and smiting people with madness and astonishment, not even getting into the possibility that suggests a nuclear weapon being used and the flash of the nuclear weapon being used. Interesting. The key part here is that Jerusalem will become a burdensome stone. Everybody's going to be concerned about what's happening in Jerusalem, and they will be gathered together against it. The world is coming together against Israel, and we're seeing that loudly now in the news. And I'll show you just a couple of things here. The people hate the Jews, and they're starting to attack the Jews in all countries. And once all the Jews are scared off or persecuted in other countries, they will be marching together to the front lines and onto Israel's border. And in fact, Russia is moving military to Israel's border as we speak. Let's take a look at this. This is one thing I commented on the community page. Jews and homosexuals are no longer safe in Berlin, warns the city's police chief. They now have no-go zones in Berlin, Germany, for Jewish people. This sounds like Hitler's Nazi era before 1945, before the war, before World War II. While she maintained that Berlin is safe as many other cities in Germany and safer than some other European capitals, she admits that there are parts of the city where heightened vigilance is necessary. Basically, there are no-go areas. Basically, double negative. There are no-go areas there. She suggests that she said, I would advise people who wear yarmulke, so the head covering of the Jewish folks, or an openly gay or lesbian, to be more careful. Now, as a Christian, we don't want violence, and we don't ask for it on anybody. We are called to love each other and love our enemies as ourselves. And all Christians, if they know the Lord Jesus Christ, will act that way. That's for anybody. You love a Jew, you love a gay, you love a lesbian. You don't matter. It doesn't matter what their state is, what their relationship with God is, how they're acting. You will love them. But there's been so many violent crimes there, and this is the way the world is going. There was in the Netherlands, I think it was Amsterdam. People were chasing Jews and beating Jews, and the police simply can't do anything. There's not enough of them to keep them away from these Palestinian mobs. This is Pope Francis. He is calling for an international investigation into whether Israel's action in Gaza have characteristics of a genocide. So if this guy was a false prophet, would he be going in the right direction? As someone who might in the future become the false prophet. Now, you've heard my commentary on the St. Malachi's prophecy of the 112th Pope being effectively the false prophet who works together with the Antichrist. And, he's coming there against Israel. Now, there's real questions, is there some form of genocide in Gaza? But if there's not, they need to come out and say it, because Israel is doing, I believe, what they need to do for their security. But he is coming out really for, lesbians and homosexuals and all these sorts of things, and against Israel. So, again, interesting character, and it looks like his politics are lining up with a world that is against Israel, as Zechariah chapter 12, verse 3 dictates and predicts that world in the future. So, again, he is in alignment right now with what we understand the false prophet to be supporting. Now, Ezekiel 38 and 39, a hook in the jaw pulls Russia, Gog, of the land of Magog. Maybe that's Turkey. Whatever it may be, we now see that, this is World Israel News, we now see that Russia is deploying army forces on Israel's border. So this is interesting. What is the hook in the jaw that draws them into Israel, and how close they have to be? We knew they were in Syria, but now they're going to be right on the border. Russian military reported taking up positions along Israel's northern border, along the Syrian side of the Golan Heights. So there is no, President Assad anymore. It is effectively controlled, Syria, by Russia and other interested parties, if you will. Russia's military has deployed them along the Syrian border, Israeli border in Syria, as observation points opposite the Israeli frontier. Russian army is expanding its presence in southwestern Syria. This is why Israel is going to have to strike Damascus, go into Syria before they strike Iran. And this could very well be the hook in the jaw that draws Russia. Russia has said, and Putin has said in the past, if you take out one of our soldiers, that would be a declaration of war. Now, how is Israel to miss at this point if they're going after people who are attacking them in their country? One of these days, you're going to have, a battalion or whatever it be, a group of Russian soldiers injured or killed, and that's going to be a declaration of war for Russia, whom, by the way, just lowered their nuclear weapons use threshold. That's in relation to Ukraine, but that doctrine would be the same in Syria with Israel. All right. So a fascinating thing. The world is turning against Israel. This is prophecy being fulfilled, Zechariah 12 and other locations, where the world is gathering against Israel. They hate Israel. And in fact, there's violence against the Jews in many nations. In fact, I would venture to say all nations. We just haven't seen the news specifically, but there's a lot of articles from many different countries about hatred and violence against the Jewish people. This is Kristallnacht, 2024, if you want to name it that. It's an incredible thing to see happening. We are living in the last days.